What's good, my people? It's your boy 336, and you are now tuned in to the 336 podcast. I'm here today to tell you that I am ahead, not up to date. Yes, that means I am from the future. Your today is just my yesterday. Spoiler alert, ain't shit changed. What's good, my people? What's good, my people? You see what we talking about today. You know what's going on. Let's get right into it, man. Y'all make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on our post notifications and get those fingers ready to talk about what we finna talk about today. Let's get into it, man. All right, man. So it happened. You know, a sad day for some. Most people are overjoyed by this. And, you know, there are even some people who wish more was done, man. Your boy, the GOAT. He is the GOAT. We're not going to take that from him. R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years on charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. Now, this is definitely an unpleasant thing, but a lot of people felt like this was well overdue. It's been a long time coming from his marriage to Aaliyah at 15 years old, which was arranged, and some illegal, nasty things were done to make that happen, all the way up to the recent women in his house. You know, it was just, I don't know. To be honest with you, I didn't do a lot of research behind this because I love R. Kelly. He's an idol of mine as a musician. So there was a lot of things that took place here that I was unaware of. And, you know, I don't try to get into people's personal life, but this was crazy. A lot of people feel like more people need to be penalized, but 30 years, some people feel like he was over penalized for this, considering what some other people get for other charges that are maybe more dangerous than what this was, considering all the accessories involved here. There were no other conspirators charged, which is kind of weird in something like this where so many people are involved in what was going on. But I guess all of the testimonies, the participation, the informants, they were all exempt from this, man. But your boy R. Kelly, the legend of GOAT, they got him, man. There have been reports coming out that he's on suicide watch, but not for what you may think, man. They say they got him on suicide watch because up there, up north, that's what they do to high-profile inmates. They put them on suicide watch because the conditions that you are under in a suicide watch situation are so terrible, so porous that, you know, they just want to make fun of R. Kelly. These people don't like R. Kelly up there. He's high-profile. They're abusing him. He's definitely not considering suicide, his lawyer says. And the people up there have been laughing about it, not being responsive, hanging up the phone, not allowing them to talk to their client, Mr. Kelly. And it's just been a rough situation, man. When you're down, you're down. When you're up, man. This is one of the greatest singers, the greatest singer-songwriter we've ever seen. And now that he's down and things have turned against him, all those things that the people that supported him and people around him neglected for so many years, now that he's down, they're kicking him, stamping on him, stomping on him, doing everything they can, spitting on him. And it just sucks to see, man. It sucks to see, man. Comment what you guys think about R. Kelly, man. Let's move on. We got some crazy stuff going on today, man. All right, so we got to talk about this, man. And y'all knew I was coming. I'm surprised that you guys are not just flooding my inbox. I know we've changed social media handles, but just flooding me and telling me you got to talk about this, man. Jayland Walker, Akron, Ohio, man, the home of LeBron James, the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. Jayland Walker is 25 years old. This happened in LeBron's hometown. It sucks to have to be associated with that, right? But he did tweet out saying, "Pray for my city. Pray for my city, man." This is what happened. Jayland Walker, a 25-year-old male, it said that he was attempting to be pulled over for some type of traffic violation, which still at this moment is unknown to us. Or is it like tag, speeding, stop sign, stoplight? You know, it's weird. But you know, guys, it's just dumb. Because, you know, traffic stops turn deadly for black men in America. If you've been watching the show, we've talked about this. I want you guys to think about the school shootings, the mass killings, and all these mass murders. And I want you to think about how those situations ended. And I want you to take that into real account as you're listening to this story about Jayland Walker and what happened to him for a traffic violation, apparently. They were attempting to pull him over. He did not pull over. And he started a high-speed chase. Stop pulling over, start a high-speed chase. Jayland Walker started a high-speed chase to where multiple officers and vehicles got involved. He was on a highway. Then he jumped off and cut through a couple of streets. And eventually, there was a point where Mr. Walker, for whatever reason, got out the car and he started to run. And what happened was he was pulled in this parking lot and then he was driving off the road. He hopped out of the driver's side, went over to the passenger side, got out that door. Police got out at this time as he was transitioning over to the other side of the car because the car was going very slow at this time in neutral or, just slowing down from going over the curb. Police surrounded him. There were 8 officers said to be there, and he got out the car and he started running. And there's body cam footage. There's a lot of body cam footage, which was just released as due to Ohio Akron law, that within a week, the body cam footage has to be released in a situation like this. But you can see they ran and the chase went on for a couple of seconds. And ultimately, they say that he stopped to turn around and they shot him and killed him. But where it gets just crazy at is they shot this man 60 times. Now, there are 8 officers with guns in their hand firing at this 25-year-old black male, and all he is doing is running away from them, and then he decides to stop, and they say he was turning around. It's really hard to tell, but yeah, they shot him 60 times. 1 versus 8. This is, Ohio's finest, Akron's finest, doing that to this black man over a traffic stop. Now, what happened to the white boy, the white supremacist who went and shot 14 people and killed over 10 people in Buffalo? What happened when they went to apprehend him? Oh, I think he just walked out, and I think he actually pled not guilty to the charges, and he'll get to face justice for killing a bunch of people in a freaking hate crime. Meanwhile, Jayland Walker, 25, he doesn't get to tell his story. He doesn't get to go to court for his traffic violation and fleeing and eluding police at the scene. He doesn't get to account for those things. He was shot 60 times. And it just starts to get unbearable at this point. It starts to not make sense. And guys, I've always been the one to play the devil's advocate. And even in this situation, I feel like, why go on the run? Why do all of these things? But I'm kind of tired of that. I'm kind of tired of having to say that, honestly. I'm tired of blaming people for getting themselves killed when they're not the one killing themselves and they pose no threat or danger to the people that are killing them. I'm tired of taking that side, taking that leverage. They're going to talk to you and say that when they were driving, which in the video of the body cam footage of some officers, you can hear they say, couple minutes into it, this chase lasted for several minutes. Couple minutes into it, they're going to tell you about how they heard what was a gunshot, and they're going to try to show you a flash from a muzzle of the weapon on this traffic cam from the highway. But, ultimately, they say they heard a shot. The chase kept going, and then Mr. Walker got out the car and ran away from police, right? So if he has a gun and he has intentions on shooting and killing the police, why is he running away for several minutes from the police? I don't understand that part. Why would he be doing that? Now, you're going to hear about how they say he shot at them, so that way they felt like it was a threat or a danger. You're going to hear them say that he had on a ski mask. You're going to hear them say how they tried tasers, but it didn't work. But that's just bull. It's just bull. It's completely what it is. It just doesn't make sense. You say this guy shot, but when he pulled over, he ran for his life for several minutes. And then you say he tried to turn around and shoot you. Don't you think if he wanted to shoot you guys, he would have got out the car shooting? And at that point, if he was running and you guys have weapons pointed at him, don't you think at that point that he's not a threat, he's not a danger, all these officers, he's running with his back to you guys? Did that not make sense? They're going to say in this still image, you could see him reaching for his waist and went in an upward motion. They're going to say all of those things, but it's all bull. It's all bull, guys. It's all bull. Don't believe any of it. They're going to show you that his gun was in his seat along with the gold ring, and that's from the body cam footage. But when you look at the gun, who would leave a gun with the clip out right there with a ring? Why did he take the gold ring off? they're going to tell you a lot of bull. They're going to show you these fake pictures that were doctored up. They're going to tell you these fake stories that they've had over a week to analyze this footage. I know these guys have watched this body cam footage over 1,000 times to try to figure out a way that it makes sense. But where are we going to account for the 60 bullets that struck Mr. Walker? 60 times is how many times this man was shot. And if that's not excessive police force, if that's not 8 officers against one black man being scared and frightened for their life, even though he's running away for him, I don't know what is, man. There have been protests, and this situation is going to go on. It's being monitored. It's an ongoing investigation. The July 4th festivities have been canceled due to this, so there will be no fireworks. There's no need when you have officers emptying the clip on a black man. I mean, he was down. He fell down, and they just still shot him. You got all of these guys shooting him, and it don't make sense. They emptied the clip on this man, and it just don't make sense. So we'll get answers on that. More on that story as the data becomes available. But rest in peace to Jayland Walker. And, like I said, guys, just pull over. All right. This is the thing, guys. A lot of people have been worried about this moment, and it's the end of the world. And apparently it's here. Yep, the end of the world is here, guys. This is the last podcast, just under 24 hours before the world ends. And that's what people are assuming is going to happen with CERN. If you guys don't know, CERN is a big organization of some of the top physicists from around the world. And they are just trying to push the boundaries of life, guys. CERN is home to the biggest particle accelerator in the world. It stretches 17 miles and over 300 feet, which is a little over half a mile under the earth, underground. And this is a massive piece of equipment that is going to go off on July 5th. And people feel like this is what's going to end the world. Just a little bit more information about this. It's the LHC, which is called the Large Hadron Collider, a.k.a. the God particle. These people call this thing the God particle. And why is that, man? They claim that this thing will allow them to study antimatter. And when they get to study this antimatter, they will begin to see what pretty much the residue or the antimatter, the substance that was used or a part and involved in the Big Bang Theory, what that's like. What can we use that technology for? People say this antimatter can be used for a lot of things. We talk about scans of the body, treatment for cancer, energy, and weapons. It's been looked at to be weaponized because this thing is very powerful, guys. This thing is very, very, very powerful. But, they call it the God particle. But then they say they want to know about the Big Bang Theory. It's a big contradiction. If you include God in it, then there's no such thing as the Big Bang Theory, right? All right, whatever, guys. These guys know what they're doing. They understand what they're doing. We can talk a whole lot about that if you guys want to comment. Let me know. But yes, this particle accelerator is going to basically, what it is, it's a big circle, 17 miles long. And they have energy traveling at almost the speed of light in this circle, around and around. And you have what's called the proton and the antitron. And the antitron is the opposite. You have matter and antimatter. These are all opposites. Basically, these things are going to collide, and it's going to create somewhat of a cosmic ray. And with this cosmic ray, once it collides and it blasts, it will create a sentiment of antimatter, which will allow this explosion, what is called an explosion. When you have matter and antimatter come together, it's an annihilation. When they come together, it's an annihilation. That's the legitimate words that's used by physicists. So this annihilation of these two colliding particles are going to create some type of explosion that is said to, mimic the Big Bang Theory, which is all antimatter. And this is what they say that they want to figure out. They want information on it. They want to know how to use it, how they can build upon this information in studies and research. But ultimately, you guys have to understand that a lot of people are scared because they feel like this is going to open up a portal and that this is going to open up another dimension. And that's what they're using to create this type of cosmic ray reaction. And it's going to be crazy. A lot of people have even said, if you watch Stranger Things, that, this is going to be like Stranger Things. And why they say that is because Stranger Things is about this portal that was open and allowed demons and monsters and everything like that to come through. People are scared, saying this is going to be Stranger Things in real life. And yes, antimatter has been related to a lot of hallucinations. Some people are having crazy dreams. People are going crazy. And people are even saying, demons and all these crazy spirits and stuff come around this antimatter, because antimatter is dark. We are matter. Antimatter is anti-us. This is the opposite of us. This is the opposite of everything that you know. And this thing could be dangerous. It could be crazy. There's definitely going to be a lot of reason to watch. It'll be at 4 p.m. CEST. So we're about 6 hours behind that, where I'm at in Eastern time. You can do the math. If you're over there in Cali, it's going to be about 9 hours behind. So do the math and figure out when you need to tune in. It'll be on their social media handle at CERN. And you can figure out a lot about this. And people feel like the world is going to end basically because they're messing with the universe, the multiverse, dimensions, portals. They're messing with all these things. You guys can do some research on it. Or if you want me to go into a lot more further detail on CERN and this Large Hadron Collider, aka the God particle, the particle accelerator, let me know, man. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have time for today. What a crazy set of events. A lot of things we're going to have to piggyback on later. And hope you guys have a happy holiday weekend. Make sure you like this video again, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, comment what you guys think. Should I go deeper into some of these topics? Let me know so I can let you know. You know what I'm talking about, man. It's your boy 336. Y'all stay safe, but most of all, stay sucker free out there.